Hey familia, Miranda here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking summer movies. Yes, so summer is like literally just a couple weeks away, and so I thought it would be fun to share with you guys my top 25 summer movies, or ones that I just kind of like to rewatch during the summertime, or even just that they take place during the summer at that. But anywho, they're not going to be like in any particular order, just because I hate doing lists like that, to be honest. But these are seriously just like 25 films that I could just put on repeat and watch like all summer long. So I'm going to get into those. You guys let me know in the comments below what are some of your favorite summer movies, whether you want to leave your top 25, top 10, top 5, top 3, whatever, or if you guys have any recommendations as well, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. But let's go on ahead and get into things. I'm going to start off with just a few honorable mentions. So the first one I have here is Summer of '84. This is one that I actually watched not too long ago, and I really enjoyed this one. Basically, you have this kid and his friends. He is kind of into the whole like conspiracy theory things, and so there's been this serial killer all over the news, and he thinks that it's his police officer neighbor, and so him and his friends decide to investigate further into it. And yeah, it's just a fun all-around movie, you guys. Great one, so definitely check that one out if you haven't. Of course, Friday the 13th, you guys. I mean, I grew up on these films. I do have a love for them. I wouldn't say it's as big as, you know, like some other people's love for that the franchise and stuff like that, but I mean, it's definitely a great little, you know, flick that takes place at a summer camp and everything, and obviously, you know, people are getting killed off and whatnot, so I mean, it's great. And then other one here, Midsommar. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Yes, it's a slow burn, you guys, and I know not a lot of people liked it. It's kind of hit or miss for some, but I really enjoyed this one. I mean, definitely in the beginning you get, you know, some countryside shots in and everything, so there's some beautiful cinematography in here. It is a very just kind of bright film because you're just out in this like big old open field and everything, and so the colors are bright in here, and it is just a super strange film, you guys, but it was something different and I really enjoyed it very much. All right, so getting into my top 25, you guys, again, these aren't in any particular order. They're just films that I can see myself watching, you know, throughout the summer and everything. So first up, we do have Wet Hot American Summer. This one was very funny. I remember getting this one actually at Dollar Tree, and yeah, I watched it and I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It's like just loads of fun, you guys. There's kind of a lot going on. It's a little bit of a chaotic film, but it's a blast. It's funny. It has this, you know, some raunchy moments and stuff like that. But you have a stacked cast in here, you guys. I mean, you got Paul Rudd, Elizabeth Banks, Amy Poehler, Bradley Cooper, Molly Shannon, and Janine Garofalo. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this is a great one, you guys. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Course, Sleepaway Camp. This is one that is more newer to me. I recently watched this one maybe a year or two ago, and I immediately like felt the love for this film. And as much as I enjoy like Friday the 13th and stuff like that, this is like the perfect like summer camp slasher, whatever. It is just loads of fun, and I totally saw just the love that everybody has for this, and the twist in this one. Like, I feel like I should have seen it coming, like, oh, that makes sense now. But the ending is I was just like dying laughing at the ending. I don't know. It was just too funny, you guys. I couldn't help myself. But we got Sleepaway Camp. And next up, we got Monte Carlo. So this one actually does take place in Monte Carlo. Basically, Selena Gomez, she heads to Monte Carlo. She's fresh out of high school. It's summertime, so she takes this trip to Europe with her friends, and she gets kind of mistaken identity and gets swept away to Monte Carlo with her friends, and she kind of finds love along the way, and you know, there's kind of just adventure and, you know, summer things happening and whatnot. And so I mean, yes, it's a very kind of like chick flick or whatever, but I do really enjoy this one very much, especially like Selena Gomez and everything. Huge fan of her like as an actress anyways. But we got Monte Carlo. Next up is Chef. Not really your typical kind of summer flick, but you guys, I went into this one not really knowing anything, not really expecting much, and I came out freaking loving this film so dang much. But you have this chef, and basically he's kind of fed up with his job where he's at because they're very demanding, and you know, they kind of want to stick to the normal. They don't want to try anything new or whatever, and so he decides to quit after like this kind of altercation that he has and stuff like that. And he basically gets a food truck, and him and his best friend, with the help of his ex-wife, set up this food truck and they start traveling through like Los Angeles. They go to Miami, New Orleans, and all of that. And his son actually kind of tags along the way and stuff, and is like tweeting and everything. This is just such a kind of feel-good film, and might I say, some amazing food. Like, you will seriously never look at a grilled cheese or a Cuban sandwich the same way again after watching this one. Oh my goodness. Definitely will have you craving those. But there's just the whole summer feel. There's just bright colors and everything in here. Beautiful, beautiful cinematography. And, you know, as they travel throughout the cities and everything, and it is just very, very, even kind of heartwarming little film, you guys. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this one. So if you've never seen this, do yourself a favor and definitely watch it. Make sure you eat something beforehand, though. That's for sure. All right, next one here is a classic, Stand By Me. I grew up watching this one and I will forever have a love for this film. All the boys in here, they just have this really great chemistry going. And it's basically just them kind of bonding and kind of finding themselves as they take this little 2-day journey to go see a dead body. And so, yeah, I mean, there's like some obstacles along the way and everything, but I mean, it's just an awesome just kind of like story of friendship and kind of like one of their like last times together and everything. So got Stand By Me. All right, so next up is Mystic Pizza. This is another one too that's more newer to me, and I absolutely adore this film. I fell in love with it immediately, you guys, after watching. It is just such a very kind of chill, laid back kind of flick, but basically you have Julia Roberts' character, her and her sister and then their friend work at this pizza joint. They live in this small little town, and basically they're kind of looking for their ticket out of town, and so they spend the summer after high school, you know, working at the pizza joint and everything, and just kind of talking hopes and dreams. A couple of them find love along the way and everything, and it is just such a really, really good kind of heartwarming film, and I really, really enjoyed this one. So definitely Mystic Pizza. If you haven't seen it, you need to. This one, honestly, I would say this is my #1 and like my most watched summer film yet, and that is The Sandlot. This is classic. It's pure nostalgia, you guys. I grew up on this one. I watched it time and time again. Even my kiddos, I got them hooked on this film. There was one point where they were even watching it like, you know, one time and then rewinded. Well, not rewind. Well, you know, they would watch it like again and again and again, just on repeat and stuff. But The Sandlot, I thoroughly love this film just so much. The whole story of it, the whole baseball and all these friends and stuff, and that's all they did like all summer long was just play baseball and everything. And I love this one so much, you guys. I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen this, so there's not really much that I can say on this film that you guys don't already know, but we got The Sandlot. Next up is Summertime. Now, Katharine Hepburn was outstanding in this, you guys, and the cinematography is absolutely beautiful because it is set in Venice, and there's just beautiful, beautiful colors in this film and everything. And basically, you have Katharine Hepburn's character. She has gone on this vacation to kind of get away from things and kind of get her emotions intact because, I mean, she's kind of, you know, a little troubled when it comes to that. And so she meets this shopkeeper dude and starts this kind of not so fairy tale love story, and it was honestly just a very, very kind of heartwarming film, very kind of feel good film, even though the love story doesn't exactly end how you would expect it to. I still really enjoyed this one and thought it was just very, very heartwarming. Like I said, there's just beautiful cinematography in here, just everything about Venice. Oh my goodness, I wish I could go, you guys. So we got Summertime. All right, next up we have The Whackness. Now, I don't know if everybody's heard of this one, but you got Josh Peck in the leading role here. So this was kind of like the first real role that I'd seen him in outside of, say, like, you know, Nickelodeon, Drake and Josh. And of course, he had like a small minor role in like Drillbit Taylor. But as like a, you know, lead role, this is like the first thing I'd seen him in. And I love this one. Takes place in New York City during the summertime. And basically, he is a drug dealer. He goes around with an ice cream cart selling drugs. And he basically befriends his shrink, and he is also his shrink's drug dealer. And the shrink's stepdaughter walks into the picture, and so Josh Peck's character ends up falling for her. So there's like, it's a coming of age story. you know, obviously he has his problems and everything like that. And, you know, and then you have the whole love story come into play and everything. It's definitely, you know, very comedic and all that. And so I thoroughly enjoyed this one very, very much. I highly recommend this one if you have not seen it. But yeah, and you have an amazing cast in here too. I mean, Ben Kingsley, he plays the shrink. You got Josh Peck, Famke Janssen, Olivia Thirlby plays the stepdaughter. You have Mary-Kate Olsen and Method Man in here as well. So pretty nice little cast there, and it's a fun one for sure, you guys. Next up, I actually just revisited this one because it had been so long since I've seen it, and I have to say it still holds up to this day. It is a film in Spanish, you guys, but it's one that I remember watching a lot back in the day, and I've always had a love for this film, and that is Y Tu Mamá También. You have a great cast here, and if you guys didn't know, the lady in here, she actually plays the mother in The Flash. So I thought that was kind of interesting because I hadn't really seen her in much of anything else up until The Flash, so I was like, okay. But yeah, so you have Gael Garcia Bernal is also in here as one of your main leads, who I'm just a huge fan of his. But basically you have these two best friends. Their girlfriends go away for the summer to Italy, and so they meet this woman here who's actually the wife of one of the guys' cousins, and so they kind of offer her to go on this trip with them to this beach, which they kind of made up this beach. They didn't really know where it was at or anything like that, and so they kind of take this road trip through Mexico. So there's obviously some just amazing scenery along the way and everything, and it's just very, very cool. You know, like seeing like all of like the culture and like the little towns and everything as you go through the film and whatnot. And then of course when you get to the beach, it's absolutely beautiful and stuff like that. But between the three of them, there's kind of this little love triangle going on because they both kind of develop feelings for her. There is quite a lot of sex talk in here, you guys. They can get you know, pretty raunchy when it comes to that and whatnot, but it's just crazy the chemistry that the three of them have together, and just the way that she kind of works her way between like their friendship and stuff like that. And so, I mean, there's some things that happen along the way. Obviously, there's drama, you know, there's love story, a story of friendship, all of that and everything. But this is just so dang good. So if you haven't seen this one, I highly recommend you check it out, even though it is in Spanish, you guys. But it is one of seriously the greatest films in Mexican cinema. So Y Tu Mamá También, I do recommend this one. So what screams summer more than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I mean, enough said there, you guys. It's great. So yeah, this one too, this is another classic. It was one that just always watched all the time. And I mean, it takes place on Independence Day. Come on, Independence Day. Love this one. Such a great film, you guys. And I'm not huge on like sci-fi stuff, but Independence Day knocks it out of the park, you guys. Then we have In the Heights, which this one was actually my favorite film of 2021. I watched this and I immediately fell in love with this film, you guys. It takes place obviously in New York City. I forget if it's like the Bronx or exactly what part, but it basically just, it's a musical. The songs in here are just absolutely fantastic. They have just so much meaning behind them. They're just loads of fun. The whole cast is amazing, especially Anthony Ramos. Like, I really was not familiar with him before In the Heights, and ever since this film I feel like he's been just popping up in like more and more films and stuff. But yes, the music in here is just fantastic. It's just so like moving and everything, and it's just the whole kind of like cultural aspect to this film, like the tight-knit community and stuff like that. I love it. I love it. I love it, you guys. It's just such a very feel-good kind of film, you guys. You know, it's just a story about this guy that he kind of has these hopes and dreams of, you know, opening up a joint in like the Dominican Republic or whatever. And so it's obviously like kind of set in the summer, and about him just working in this shop to like kind of save up and whatnot, to see about you know, making his dreams happen and stuff like that. And so it is just fantastic, you guys. So definitely check it out, especially if you're into musicals and stuff like that. You're gonna love this one. Next up, we got classic Grease. I mean, another one too, not really much that I can say on, other than what you guys already know. Like, seriously, everybody loves Grease, so got that one. Next up, American Graffiti. This is one too that I actually recently watched, And another one too that I just fell in love with immediately. It's basically the last night of summer. It does take place just on the one night, and this one just has great music, you guys. Like seriously, just a great soundtrack. I love just the whole 60s vibes and everything, and just kind of being out and about with your friends and your nice rides and everything. Like there's some awesome cars in here and everything, you guys. So but yeah, it's just basically a couple of friends that are, it's like I said, it's their last night and then they're about to kind of part ways or whatever and stuff. So it's a coming of age film that all just takes place on the one night, and I love this one so much, you guys. So freaking good. And then aside from like Scream, I would definitely consider this to be kind of like my runner-up, you know, like as the slashers, and that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I mean, title kind of says it all. I mean, you got the summer setting, and then of course the whole, you know, slasher stuff going on. So fun one for sure. Then this one too I recently revisited, and it has held up wonderfully. Of course, we got Dirty Dancing, had to include this one. Oh my goodness, awesome freaking soundtrack too in this one, you guys. And just all the dancing, you know, their chemistry in here together is just fire. Yeah, just the way they dance together and everything, and just the storyline, the whole backdrop of like this like summer resort and all of that. Love it, love it, love it. Obviously, you have to include Jaws. I mean, come on, you got sharks and a summer beach full of people and everything. It is just classic, and to this day, it still instills that fear of sharks in me, which is why I'm not a huge fan of the beach, you guys. I'm like super paranoid when I go to the beach and whatnot, but this is just freaking awesome, and I will forever love Jaws. Then we do have It, the 1990 version here. This one too, grew up on this one. I love the chemistry between all the characters, just the time setting, everything. There's just something so special about this film, and this will forever be one of my favorite horror flicks. So, but yeah, just the whole summer scene, all of that, these friends, you know, spending their summer together and basically trying to outrun this clown or whatever. But yeah, so we got It. All right, getting down to the last bunch. I do have another kind of girly girl flick here, if you will, and that is Aquamarine. This one was actually kind of a nice surprise. I really did enjoy this one. I thought these three girls here, they had great chemistry. I mean, obviously you have JoJo, which you don't really see her in much, Emma Roberts and Sarah Paxton, and they were great. And obviously Aquamarine is played by Sarah Paxton, but you have this girl here. Her mom is about to, you know, move them to like Australia or whatever because she's a marine biologist, and so obviously they don't want to move, and so she kind of like hopes for a miracle to kind of happen, and up shows Aquamarine and stuff like that. And so basically she, I guess, kind of like ran away from her father, you know, and so she is able to during the day, you know, turn her fin into legs and stuff like that. And so basically she wants to prove to her dad that true love really does exist and stuff. And so she does indeed find love and all of that. But it's a super cute film, you guys. Definitely a good one to watch like with your girls or whatever. But yeah, I really like that one. And then obviously Ernest Goes to Camp right here. This is the only one I still need to get on Blu-ray, you guys, so I can get rid of this darn DVD thing here because I hate this packaging and stuff, but I love the films. But yes, Ernest Goes to Camp, you guys, another good one. Can't go wrong with Ernest. Next up, we have A Now and Then. This is a fantastic coming of age film. It's one that I recently watched, and another one too that I just immediately fell in love with. It is such just a fun and funny, heartwarming little film. And obviously how it kind of like goes back and forth between the girls here in their younger days and then as they're adults and everything. And there's just some really great chemistry between the younger girls, like the younger versions of themselves. And it all just takes place like during the summer. But yeah, the four friends, they promise to always be there for each other. And so it's like I said, it kind of goes back and forth a little bit between their younger days and then obviously 20 years later when they reunite and everything. So got Now and Then. This one I highly recommend if you have not seen this one. A classic right here, which I've only seen this version. I have not seen the original, but we have the Parent Trap, you know, the old switcheroo. So I mean, not much to see on this one, but I love that one. And then of course we have What About Bob? This film is just outrageously funny. Oh my goodness. Bill Murray is an absolute hoot in here, and I seriously would not want to be stuck with somebody like him. But he is this therapy patient. His therapist just so happens to decide he wants to go on this like summer vacation with his family to get away. And let's just say Bob follows him and will not leave him alone. So yeah, it is so dang funny, you guys. I was laughing my butt off the first time I watched this, which was like maybe a couple years ago, and it was one that I just, oh my goodness, I need to watch this one again because I thoroughly enjoyed this one so much. It is just so funny. That came out weird. So funny, you guys. All right, and last but not least, this is another one too. We got another little switcheroo, and that is It Takes Two. I mean, this one, I love it. It's the whole summer camp thing, like just all over again, you guys. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, they're awesome in here. I just love, I've always been a fan of them, like ever since, you know, all their movies and Full House and all of that. So It Takes Two, this is awesome, especially, you know, with Gutenberg and Kirstie Alley in here. They just add to the fun and everything, and it's a cute story and all that. So really dig this one. So those are my top 25, you guys. Let me know if you guys have seen any of these films and your thoughts on them. Again, drop your faves in the comments below. So that is it, you guys, for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Join the family if you have not, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.